Hi, this is Colin. I'm going to make an unusual recommendation. I don't think I've ever said this before the show, but I would really recommend getting a pen and some paper or a note card or something like that, because you may want to write down some of the ideas you hear today, and they're going to be coming fast and furious. This is this insane idea we had to ask essentially everybody we knew to make some gift recommendations for the holiday gift-giving season. You're going to hear people whose names and voices you know, and people whose names and voices you don't know, people from the nose, people who work behind the scenes here at the radio station. And I know what all the recommendations are. Some of them are really fascinating. So get ready and take some notes, and maybe some of your gift-giving problems will be solved.
Got a message from old Saint Nick way up in Christmas land, and he says that the toys for good girls and boys are being made as planned. There's a truck for little Billy and a dolly for Molly dear, but you ain't getting diddly squat 'cause you really messed up this year.
Well, hopefully that's not true, although many of us did mess up this year. But hopefully the gods of the holiday season will look kindly on us anyway. So this is a very unusual show today. We've never attempted anything like this. We have like 32 guests, I think, and bits of tape and stuff like that. But we just reached out to the people that we know and love, people who kind of represent the community of the Colin McEnroe Show, and we said, let's just talk about stuff that you could give people, because, you know, you're sort of in that last minute gift mode right now, so maybe you'll get some really good ideas, and if not, you will spend the time pleasantly with us. So, you know, I think when we think about the holidays, we think about a guy with a beard and a twinkle in his eye. And no, I'm not talking about Santa Claus. I don't even know who that is. I'm talking about John Dankosky, director of news and radio for Science Friday. He co-hosts Mercy and the Dude, which is one of my favorite podcasts on Connecticut Mirror. I guess it's technically called Untold. And so we asked Mr. Dankosky what in the world people should give for the holidays this year. Let's find out what he said.
Here's my endorsement for a holiday gift. It's a bigger ticket gift, but it's really an important time to invest in local farms. They're selling their CSA shares, their community-supported agriculture shares right now. If you give them some money up front, they're able to better plan next growing season. There's so many different CSA models out there, from places where you go to the farm and pick your own vegetables to other places where you just pick up what you want at a farm stand. A few of our favorites are Sweet Acre Farm in Lebanon, Holcomb Farm in Granby, where we've been members for a very long time, and Barden Farm in New Hartford that does a kind of a clever thing with the local Brewery Legitimus, where you get your vegetables plus beer. There's a website, not a great website, but a website from the state that you can check out that has a list of all the CSAs. That's my gift idea. Buy now, support farming for next year, and happy holidays.
I'd throw a Sub-Edge Farm in Farmington into that too. Hi, Roger and Isabel. But so, Mr. Dankosky gets us started. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a sharp turn away from the fields and more towards the movie theaters. Joining us now are Illeana Douglas, who is the official movie star of the Colin McEnroe Show, just back from a movie shoot in Winnipeg. I don't know how you wangled a job like Winnipeg in the winter. Everybody wants to be there. David Edelstein is America's greatest living film critic. They're going to give you some ideas for sort of movie-related gifts for the movie lover in your life. So I'm starting a timer right now because this is a very tough show to keep on track. But Illeana, get us going. What are you going to recommend for people?
Okay, just imagine me like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, thawing out from my trip in. So that's what I look like. Just to get a visual of me recommending.
Because you flew back like yesterday, right, from Winnipeg?
Yes, last night. As I said, just Jack Nicholson, The Shining. End of the film. That's me. But I'm here for you because I adore you. Okay, before I get into the movie thing, I just also want to plug a couple of gift shop places that sell movie books. The Goodspeed Station Country Store in East Haddam sells all sorts of amazing books, nostalgic candy, kettle corn. They do book readings there. It's very literate, wonderful place. And also, believe it or not, Shagbark Lumber, which is also in East Haddam, sells, in addition to getting last minute gadgets and building supplies and bird feeders and stuff like that, also sells a wonderful kind of array of books. But the books for me this Christmas, I'm recommending, I have to do Quentin Tarantino's Cinema Speculation, Hollywood, The Oral History by Janine Basinger, who used to be the cinema studies head at Wesleyan. Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli, which is the book, The Making of the Godfather by Mark Seal. And a book I'm reading currently, Dancing on the Edge, which is the autobiography of Billy Wilder. Very, very thorough by Joseph McBride. So those are my movie books.
Well, actually, it's really interesting because David and I are going down to Shagbark Lumber this weekend. They're screening La Ventura. So we just thought it would be just, irresistible to see that. So thanks for reminding us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So first of all, David, I don't know whether you want to comment on any of those gifts or because you guys like to
those are great book suggestions. I would also say that one good thing to buy for holidays for a movie lover, Studio Ghibli. There are a lot of books associated with the great Studio Ghibli Miyazaki movies, especially Spirited Away. And a lot of those bookstores will have incredibly lavishly detailed, beautifully written books about those films. Also, there's a really good one out, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, that first animated really masterpiece. And I think those are fantastic books as well. More, coffee table books.
Those do sound great. So, are you just building on those, or do you have specific things that you want to talk about?
No. I mean, I would tell you to go to the movies, but I have COVID right now, and I'm a little nervous about the whole thing right now. So I'm staying at home. I'm a pretty fair cook, and I like videos about cooking techniques. I'm also a movie lover. So for people like me, I recommend the Criterion Blu-ray of Chantal Ackerman's Jean Dielman. You need to see it because it was voted the best film of all time in that idiotic Sight and Sound poll. But Delphine Seyrig has a pretty good technique for peeling potatoes and chopping carrots, and she does it for like 8 hours. So I say cook along with Jean, and stock up on Penzi spices from West Hartford or by mail. While you're there, while you're at Criterion, subscribe to the Criterion channel. I can't imagine a nicer gift. There are movies you've been meaning to see all your life, and movies you've been avoiding that some night at 2 a.m. you might say, what the hell? Eastern Europe, Africa, even samurai and Godzilla movies, along with, the great classics. Boy, that would make someone very, very happy.
I don't think Illeana and I can endorse trying to watch a movie and chop vegetables at the same time. It just feels like a recipe for a bleed out.
Yeah, those cook along with a movie.
Well, a little blood completes the experience of watching Jean Dielman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Particularly when you're COVID positive too.
Also, if you want to go online to movie sites, A24 has a great place to support. That you can buy a Pearl Smile pin with Mia Goth's Psycho Smile. You can buy hot dog finger gloves from Everything Everywhere All at Once. They have genre candles they did with Joya. You can have a different scent for westerns, musicals, rom-coms. I'm not sure I want to know what the horror set is.
What is this site called?
That sort of thing.
What is it called? The site. What is the site called again?
A24,
the
distributor.
Just their site. Okay,
where
cool.
you can also buy great movies.
Wow.
And I don't know whether they have movie scratch-off posters there, but Uncommon Goods and Etsy, with 100 squares, you use a coin to scrape off a movie after you've seen it, and the poster of the movie is underneath it. Fantastic gift for a movie lover.
Oh, I like that. Illeana, any thoughts?
Another one I was going to recommend is, which I recently discovered myself, is out in East Hampton. They have Bevan's bells, which are the bells, the actual bells that appeared in the movie It's a Wonderful Life. So at the very end of the movie, when she says every time an angel gets his wings, the little bell. Well, that bell came from East Hampton, Connecticut. Bevan's Bells. It's Bevins. And you can go online and you can get a bell just like the bell from It's a Wonderful Life. They also made the famous cowbell for the More Cowbell sketch.
Really? I know that. I did not know. That's pretty impressive. So that would be, to me, that is
I'm speechless. I'm speechless in the face of those two gifts. The only thing I can offer in response, there's a Timothée Chalamet coloring book for adults that you can find online. If you find people obsess over him, if you have the good fortune never to meet him in real life, you probably will. If you do meet him, I doubt maybe you'll use it as a dartboard, but he is a very fine actor, and I recommend that. I would also recommend the Whirly Pop popcorn maker. It's hand cranked. Never mind this microwave stuff. Get yourself some good popcorn. Use a lot of oil. None of this air popper crap. You might as well be eating packing peanuts. Throw in some za'atar or another Penzi spice, and do it by hand, cranking by hand when you watch your movies on TV.
All right, Illeana, with 60 seconds left, we've buried the lead. People can order your book now, can't they?
They can. It's official. It's called Connecticut in the Movies. I'm like, Howard Beale. Go to your windows, shout it out loud. Connecticut in the Movies. You can go get it right now at Amazon, published by Globe Pequot Press. Labor of Love, 100 films that were made in or that are about Connecticut, all sorts of little inside baseball things like the Bevan Bells, trivia, and all sorts of guides. You'll find guidebooks to all sorts of movie locations throughout Connecticut.
All right. So, first of all, we want to thank Illeana Douglas, the official movie star of the Colin McEnroe Show. She's got jet lag from flying back to Winnipeg. David Edelstein is still getting over COVID. They both need some rest right now. David is America's greatest living film critic. Thanks to both of you. Happy holidays. Illeana, we'll get you back to talk about the book at greater length. Yes. And Xandra Ellin, who started out as an intern here as a producer at Pineapple Street Media and is writing all kinds of important things and in important places. And so here is Xandra with a recommendation.
I, this year for Christmas, wanted to get someone very important to me an original piece of art, or just like a special piece of art. So I ended up spending, I want to say maybe like 600 hours of my life on this website called artsy.net, which essentially compiles all of these galleries from all over the world, and you can buy directly from the gallery via the website. And there's also bidding. So it's like you could buy like a $50 print of like a limited edition Dali, but you could also buy like a $500,000 original painting by an artist that I've never heard of. And I think that I walked away from the experience really understanding how little I know about art. But I do think that it made me kind of a better connoisseur. So don't blame me if you get addicted. And happy holidays, Colin.
I am back. We are back. This is the weirdest show we've done in a long time. We have lots and lots of guests here, all of them recommending various gifts that you can give during the holiday season. Joining us now is, she's actually not joining us. This is pre-recorded, but joining us now is Sabrina Herrera, community engagement and social media editor at Connecticut Public, and I believe one of the next big superstars of this particular company. Sabrina?
Okay, so I might sound like a broken record to some, but I truly, honestly, wholeheartedly believe that performing improv makes you a better human being. Some of the core tenets of improv are supporting your scene partners, deep listening, and everyone's favorite adage, yes and, which really just means adding and building onto what your scene partner has already said. Improv teaches you how to listen, how to deal with stuff that's outside of your control, and how to truly be present. It forces you to let go of everything and exist in a space where only what's been said on stage is true. You're literally working with what's in front of you, not what could happen later or what should have happened earlier in the day. Because everything is made up on the spot, people are often scared or nervous to try it, so I like to remind them that life isn't scripted. We're never working off a script or off of what's supposed to happen. We are literally always improvising all of the time. So, my gift idea is buying your loved one an improv class. They, without a doubt, will learn something new, come out of there with newly found confidence, and hopefully see the world as a happier, much more fun place. In improv and in life, as we say, there are no mistakes, only gifts.
All right, thanks for that. And now I have to try to figure out who's actually on the Zoom right now. I think I know. So nostrils from the nose right now are Taneisha Duggan, associate producer at Octopus Theatricals. Sam Hadelman works at Music Public Relations and hosts the Sam Hadelman Show at Radio Free Brooklyn. Jacques Lamarre is a playwright and chief communications officer at Buzz Engine. And Sean Murray is a stand-up comedian, writer, and the host of the Nobody Asked Sean. It's SHAWN. I feel that I have to point that out. Podcast. So, with that in mind, we'll just sort of go in the order that I said them in. I'm amazed this show isn't more screwed up by this point, but we'll get there. So, Taneisha Duggan, why don't you get us started? What are you recommending for gift giving now?
I'm going to recommend a lot of things because, your girl loves a thing for sure. So one of the first things I'm going to recommend is actually, if you've got it in you and you are back in the world, a visit to the mall. Because that to me feels like peak holiday season, getting out there at the very last minute, running around and trying to find something that you think might make people happy, but also comes with a gift receipt. So if you fail, they can go and get the thing that they actually want. But a specific trip to the mall, I think you need to go out to the Banana Republic, which I know is a very weird thing to suggest. But right now, they have sort of they're reminding me of J. Crew in like the early aughts when Mickey Drexel and Jenna Lyons were sort of running the spot, where it's kind of heritage and classic, but has like a little taste of cool to it. So I'm loving on Banana Republic right now, which I know, very, very weird, but I'm giving them the thumbs up for an easy in-person run into the store and grab something. I also love Folkus, Folkus. They're fantastic for wrapping paper that's reusable. It's made out of stone. It's Black owned. You can use it for wrapping paper and then use it again to sort of like line your cabinets or your drawers if that's something that you do. You could use it as tablecloth if that's something that you do. So I'm loving on Folkus, Folkus, as a wrapping paper alternative. And then my final sort of gift option is a company called Lit. They are endorsed by the Beyonce. So I think, if you don't trust me, you can trust Beyonce. They are a candle company, again, Black owned, fantastic. Lit Brooklyn, LITBDO, if you want to go online to find them. Amazing scents. There's one there that would tickle me if you're of a certain persuasion, and so I encourage you to buy that one. But if not, they also have one that's holiday scented that is really fantastic as well.
All right.
So those are my three sort of gift giving options.
Those are great. Don't buy any of that stuff for Becky with the good hair, though. All right. So
not if she's with your baby daddy. Definitely don't do it for her if she's with the baby daddy.
All right, Sam Hadelman, I'm sure you can build on everything that we just said. What have you got to recommend?
All right. So this was probably like the most nerve-wracking thing I've had to prepare on the show because I don't really participate in the gift-giving or receiving economy. Mm-hmm. My dad actually hates gifts, which I talked to him about. I had to inform him about this about 10 minutes before the show. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, Dad, every gift I've ever gotten you lives in your drawer. But this year I'm trying to switch it up. So I hope my mom's not listening. I'm going to get her and I tickets to go see Steve Martin and Martin Short at Foxwoods, which I think is like a good gift for anybody of any age who doesn't love Steve Martin. And I think it's a cool experience gift because, I don't know, I'm not really sure what they're going to do, but I think it's going to be worth it. The next gift I'm going to recommend is Human Race, which is Pharrell's skincare routine. I don't know if everybody here knows this, but during the pandemic, I got crazy into skincare. I have like a serum, I have moisturizers, I have eye cream. I don't know. It was just like, I was just like in my house, I was like, I should probably make myself prettier. And I'm going to recommend this 3-piece set. It's an exfoliant, it's a face wash and a moisturizer. I think that they're great products, really good introductory products for anybody who's trying to get into skincare, especially grown men who need it, and anybody who just enjoys the art of looking better. And then my third gift recommendation is a little bit pricier, but I think it's worth it. The Sony XM4 headphones. I've done like months of research about commercial headphones, and I think that these are the best ones on the market. Like I said, they're a little bit pricier, but if the person you're getting a gift for is a music enthusiast, I think this could be a perfect gift.
All right. Beautiful, Sam. I think I'll skip the skincare stuff, but just give me everything
come on, Colin.
Just give me everything that's in Alan's drawer. Just give me everything that's in your dad's drawer that he's not using. I want all that stuff. Jacques Lamarre is a playwright and chief communications officer at Buzz Engine. Jacques, what are you going to recommend?
I am notorious for showing up at the family secret snowflake with gifts that no one wants. So I'm going to place that as a big advisory for anyone who's about to take my recommendations. But the number one thing that I am recommending for this holiday season is the Britney Spears Monopoly game. Yes, Monopoly they have a new version based on Britney Spears. All the different properties are her greatest hits. Instead of the railroads, you've got her tour bus, her limo, the helicopter, and a private jet. There's different, the little playing pieces are all kind of based on props from her music videos. Instead of community chest and chants, there are cards that are named after her fragrances. And I love this particular piece of marketing copy, as I write marketing copy all the time. Be the last one standing with hard-earned riches until, oops, you've bankrupted your friends again. So I have bought mine, have not yet played it. This is a gift for myself, but I think anyone who loves something kind of campy and fun, and the money goes to Britney instead of her father. So that's a nice little bonus.
So get together with Jacques and play that, because there's nothing sadder than playing the Britney Spears Monopoly game alone. I'm looking at a picture of it right now on my Slack right now. It looks quite joyous. So
it's very pink.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say that was not something that Sean Murray was planning to recommend, and then you kind of ruined it for Sean. Sean, stand-up comedian, writer, host of the Nobody Asked Sean podcast. What are you going to recommend for giving?
I'm scrambling right now because I had Britney Spears Monopoly on my list. No, Colin, can I call you Colin?
You may call me Colin.
What I would like to recommend is that anyone who could hear the sound of my voice purchase a PlayStation 5 for me. That's the gift you should give, is a PlayStation 5 for me. But in lieu of that, for someone else in your life, the perfect gift this year is the Noma 2.0 cookbook. Why is it the perfect gift, you ask? Because it's the perfect gauge for someone in your life. You give someone a Noma 2.0 cookbook. This is the cookbook of one of the best restaurants in the world for the last 15 years. And they don't know what it is, then they're not a friend you should have. They're not a cultured person. So get them out of your life. If they do know what it is, it means one of two things. They cannot cook, and you're trying to tell them, hey, learn to cook. This is one of the best chefs in the world, one of the most creative chefs in the world. Take after him. If they can cook, they say, hey, you can cook, but not as good as this guy. So, hold your horses a little bit. Stop trying to come to all the Diddy parties with your little, I made a foam reduction. No, this guy's the best. So check out this book. It's the perfect gift also because it's a book. So there's I'm a little bit cultured. I'm an intellectual, but it's a cookbook that's pricey because cookbooks are usually more pricey than a novel. So it's like $60. So it's like, hey, this guy put some thought into this. And if the person doesn't even like this cookbook, gorgeous pictures. So you can put it on your coffee table and they can look at some of the most well-composed dishes in the world. That's my recommendation.
My favorite thing about you, Sean, in this situation is I can hear a couple of places where you actually censored yourself a couple of times.
I do it for the people, the kids out there who are listening to the sound of my voice.
Yeah, there you go. So thanks very much to Sean Murray and to Jacques Lamarre, Sam Hadelman, and Taneisha Duggan. I wish we had time for crosstalk. We absolutely do not. Jennifer LaRue is a freelance producer for the Colin McEnroe Show. She's produced many of the episodes that you've loved this year. Let's see what she's going to recommend.
As a big-time Monkees fan, I'm going to have to go ahead and recommend that you give everybody on your list, including yourself, a copy of the album Christmas Party by the Monkees, released in 2018. You can get it for about $20 as a CD or $25 on vinyl. So it's an interesting recording. It's very Mickey Dolenz heavy. It was put together after Davy Jones had died, so his voice is kind of resurrected and woven in a kind of eerie way, but it's also very beautiful. And Mike and Peter were still alive when this was put together, so it's kind of lovely. But another really cool thing about it is that some pretty wonderful songwriters contributed to it. So Rivers Cuomo of Weezer has written a song, and Andy Partridge wrote Unwrap You for Christmas. And most poignantly for me, as a big fan also of Fountains of Wayne, Adam Schlesinger, who died of COVID early in the pandemic, wrote one of the songs. So it's kind of a nice little, visit with old friends, and it's very, for me, nostalgic. Enjoy, and happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, I'm such an Adam Schlesinger fan, and he had a long involvement with the Monkees. All right, we're going to take a little break here for Pledge. This is a very short segment, but if you enjoy the craziness of trying to do a show like this one, please pledge during this segment. Maybe we'll get a little bit of credit for it. It would be a nice present for us.
Around the world, something mighty sweet to see. If only if I just had a present for everyone under one great big Christmas tree. For every boy that wants a brand new toy, for every Johnny that wants a car.
And we're back. I will say that trying to do this show with anybody with any capacity for panicking would be really hard, because this show is really complicated, more complicated than it sounds. I am fortunate that Kat Pastor does not have a panicky bone in her body. She's the technical producer of this show. Jonathan McPants is the person who pulled all this stuff together magically. So thanks to both of you. Right now, we're going to go back to our gift-giving guide. We're asking people from the nose, asking people who work with us, and in this case, asking people who have worked with us. Carlos Mejia was a treasured colleague. He's now manager of media insights and analytics for World Wrestling Entertainment. He actually produced, to the best of my knowledge, one episode for us in his time here, but it's one of our favorites. It's the VHS episode. So let's hear what Carlos has to say.
So I like to endorse a shoehorn. I know, yeah. Pretty random, pretty bizarre. It's that little thing that you slip in the back of your shoe, and your foot just slips in through the heel. I know. I've been using a shoehorn for a while. I hate tying my shoes. I always have them tied up, and I try to slip them on to save time. But of course, doing that just adds more time. And shoehorn is the way to go. I think I have added back maybe 3 minutes back into my life by not spending so much time putting on shoes. I use a metal one. I think you're going to be fine looking at whatever on Amazon or wherever you get your shoehorns. That's where I got mine. I love it. Real game changer. No one talks about it. I know it's like an old man thing, as my wife likes to say, but whatever. I put on my shoes very comfortably now. So the joke's on you if you're not using one. But seriously, go gift a shoehorn to someone this season and change their lives forever.
All right. I'm also being told that Carlos Mejia produced the Doctor Who episode for us as well. So I want to say that's a great recommendation. But also, your other option is buy Kizzik, Kizzik. These are shoes. I'm wearing them right now. But they have other. I'm not wearing the only Kizziks. I think the company has a lot of them that they could sell to you. But these are the kind of shoes that you tie them once and then you just step into them and you just sort of squish around in them and suddenly they're miraculously on you. I can't possibly convey to you how great those are. So if you know somebody who doesn't like, to put on their shoes in the normal way, or is getting really old and can't bend their knees anymore. Get Kizik's. All right. Enough about what I'm thinking, though. Let's listen to some of the people from the nose. Joining us now, Carolyn Payne is an actress, comedian, dancer, founder, and director and choreographer of Kinetic Dance, which is doing Nutcracker Sweet and Spicy. Don't miss it. Tracy Wu Fastenberg is development officer at Connecticut Children's. Bill Yousman is professor of media studies at Sacred Heart University. So let's get going. Carolyn, I can't wait to hear what kind of gifts that you'll be giving. I should say that one of the best gifts I've ever gotten, I got last year, which from Carolyn, which is an on-air light, like we have here on the radio, kind of an old-fashioned looking one. It's in my office now. So if she gives it to you, you should understand she's already given it to somebody else. So Carolyn, what do you plan to give to people this year, or think they should be given?
Well, I'm mad that no one has ever given me a wine advent calendar. I just need to say this on air and get that out. I know that they exist. I have pined after them. I have dropped hints and no one has done it. So maybe if I say that on air, one will magically appear at my house in time for me to be able to chug 12 days of wine before the holidays.
Like how big is is it like little nips of wine behind the doors, or?
Well, there are different kinds. They come in like, I guess it's like one glass of wine. It's like a vial
it's a glass.
of wine.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I think that's a pretty awesome gift.
Yeah, and if you start like rushing ahead, you have a problem too. Like if you start skipping days,
Yeah, or even better, like if you skip a day, the next night you get to have two.
Right.
I don't know. It just seems magical. So I think that's a really fun gift. And I was on the nose about a month or so ago, and we talked about Andor, the Star Wars series on Disney Plus, and literally that afternoon, I started getting ads on all of my social media for this Star Wars line of jewelry. It's like fine jewelry. It's diamonds and rubies and emeralds, and it's all done in designs of Star Wars characters and themes. And I think that those are pretty fabulous. So if you have a Star Wars nerd in your life that also appreciates the finer things, I think that those are pretty special. There's an R2-D2 stackable ring that if somebody gave me, my heart would just explode. And so those are things that I want. As far as giving gifts, I love customized stuff from Etsy and other websites. And last year I did a lot of customized gifts with people's pets on them. Like you can get socks made with somebody's dog's face on it or their cat. And I think that those are a real, they're a real crowd pleaser. So I recommend looking that up and finding shops on Etsy that do that. And there are a couple different websites, so check that out. Also shop local. Hartford Prince never disappoints and has a lot of cool, quirky, fun gifts. So all of that.
All right. Those all sound good. I do want to say that I think it's too late for this in terms of turning it around for a Christmas gift. But on the Yellowstone website, speaking of things we've talked about on the nose, you can get a sweatshirt where you could put a woman's name. You can personalize it with a woman's name, and it says underneath, Future Mrs. Rip Wheeler. So think about that as well. All right, before we go to Tracy Wu Fastenberg and Bill Yousman, let's hear from somebody here who works with us. Jessica Severin de Martinez produces Audacious with Chion Wolf on Connecticut Public Radio. Here we go.
I love cooking, and I have a lot of things to help me with that, like a Dutch oven, a pressure cooker, a super fine micrograter that I use all the time for garlic and ginger. They're all great, but I don't really get excited about most of them the way I do about my gift recommendation. And this is for anyone. They don't even need to enjoy cooking. I'm talking about toaster tongs. Mine are made of bamboo, magnetic, so they stick to the side of the toaster and can't ever get lost. And having them means that I don't burn my fingers retrieving toast or have to fiddle around with a fork or knife to fish out slices that'll very likely break or get stuck during that process. I can wholeheartedly say I love my toaster tongs. They start off my day right, and they make me feel like I've got my whole life together. And why wouldn't you want to gift that to someone? If they have a toaster, they need toaster tongs.
I have toaster tongs, but I never know where they are. So you should really have to keep them right by the toaster, or they get lost in the shuffle, and then you're screwed. All right, so Tracy Wu Fastenberg, I hope you weren't planning to recommend toaster tongs.
No, but give me a second because I'm writing it down on my list of things that I want, because the magnetic thing sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
So So I'm looking around my house, and there's already so much stuff that I have to recommend, especially for kids, experiences. I have 2 young kids, and we love doing stuff with them. For my son's birthday, we took the Essex steam train, but you can find an experience for anything for a kid, that they are super into getting their hair done and nails and everything. There are little boutique salons all around Connecticut that will do that for kids. You can take them to the Trolley Museum, the New England Air Museum, Science Center, Mystic Aquarium, get them tickets, get them a membership, something like that. I promise you, if you are not their parents will thank you, or guardians, or whoever are the main adults in their lives will thank you for not getting them lots of space-saving stuff, but giving them experiences and a fun time out.
I haven't been to that trolley museum in a really long time, but they used to have these great little trolley rides, and around the holidays they would do up the trolleys and everything, and it was great.
They're great. We did that a couple of years ago and loved it. So, and in the similar vein, for adults, finding a nonprofit that sort of jives with somebody's interest. They're a big cook. You can find a local food pantry that you can donate to. If they are an animal lover, there are so many shelters and places around Connecticut and all over the country, small nonprofits that care for animals. Less stuff, more meaningful experiences and helping others. But if you absolutely need to get somebody something, my colleague Mana clued me into something that now is on my list that, will add to the clutter in my house. But Nambe makes this beautiful fruit bowl that also has this tree-like silver thing in the middle where you can hang bananas. So you don't need a separate banana hanger and fruit bowl. It's all in one, and it's really beautiful and sculptural looking. So those are mine.
All right. So Bill Yousman, you are almost the last one on the show today. So what have you got for us?
Well, first I can't resist pointing out that Carolyn's complaint about not getting a wine advent calendar could be considered a wine.
Right. True.
Oh. Thanks. But to get to business, I'm really enjoying this Hulu television series called Fleischman is in Trouble. I don't know if any of you are watching it. You should be. It's great. But my recommendation of a gift is that it was based on a 2019 novel, same title, Fleischman is in Trouble, by a writer named Taffy Brodesser-Akner, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's a story about this, very successful couple, urban, but are experiencing really, really major marriage problems. And then at some point, a dissolution and a disappearance. And I know it sounds very sad and depressing, but it's not. It's very clever, it's witty, and I think really emotional in a very heartening kind of way. So you could buy people that novel. And I love giving books for holidays because I think you can really tap into like what you know about somebody and what might appeal to them, although I guess that can be risky if you get it wrong also. So my other recommendation is also books. It's the Best American series. We know that it's really hard to keep up with all the reading we want to do. So they put out these anthologies at the end of every year. I always get the Best American Short Stories, the Best American Essays, and the Best American Science Fiction and Fantasy.
Yeah, those books are tremendous. I enjoy them too, and they really do make gifts. I don't mean to cut you off here, but I'm squeezing the time here right now.
Cool.
Bill Yousman, thanks for those recommendations. Chion Wolf, of course we have to have Wolfie on, the host of Audacious with Chion Wolf on Connecticut Public Radio.
You know the movie Spaceballs? It's a Mel Brooks spoof on Star Wars, and there's this part where the hero, Lone Star, played by Bill Pullman, has lost this magical ring that was given to him by Yogurt, played by Mel Brooks. This ring gives Lone Star access to the Schwartz, a powerful supernatural force. So there's this final showdown scene where Lone Star is battling the villainous Dark Helmet, played by Rick Moranis.
You have the ring, and I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Then, Dark Helmet tricks Lone Star into losing his ring through the grates on the ground.
So, Lone Star, Now you see that evil will always triumph, because good is dumb.
Our hero is cornered when he hears the voice of Yogurt.
Use the Schwartz, Lone Star. Use the Schwartz. I can't. I lost the ring. Forget the ring. The ring is Bupkis. I found it in a Cracker Jack box. The Schwartz is in you, Lone Star. It's in you. All right. I'll try.
Spoiler, our hero makes it out alive. So this holiday season, I endorse buying or making anything that could be the Schwartz for somebody. A hunk of amethyst? Awesome. A poem? Perfect. A hug? Bring it in. Even though love is the home that dwells inside of us always, sometimes you could use a reminder. Any reminder that it's there. May your days be merry and bright.
And may the Schwartz be with you.
That was the perfect place to end, and so that's what we're going to do. Thanks to Chion Wolf and to everybody else who helped out today, and especially to Jonathan McPants, who was juggling an awful lot of tape to get all this stuff ready and making a lot of arrangements. And thanks to Kat as well. And you listeners, you're my gift. It really is true that. It's just a gift to be able to come here and talk to you on a pretty much daily basis or close to that. So thanks for being my gift. And we'll go out with a little bit of music, and then the pledge people are going to ask you to pledge. Please pledge during our time slot. It's good for us.
With the answer to the prayer that you've made through the years, you'll get yours. If you've done everything you should, extra special good, he'll make this December the one you'll remember the best and the merriest you ever did have. Everybody's waiting. They're all congregating, waiting for the man with the bag. Waiting for the man with the bag. Merry Christmas.